Hey there, reality explorer. Pull up a chair, or better yet, imagine yourself floating between dimensions, because we're diving into one of the most mind-bending concepts in science and philosophy, the multiverse. What if I told you that right now, in another universe, you might be reading this article while sipping coffee on Mars? Or maybe you're a famous rock star instead of scrolling through your phone. Sounds wild, right? But stick with me, because the idea of multiple realities isn't just sci-fi. It's a serious topic debated by physicists, mathematicians, and dreamers alike. Let's start simple. The multiverse is the hypothetical collection of all possible universes, including our own. Think of it like a cosmic library where each book represents a different version of reality. Our universe, the one you're sitting in right now, is just one shelf in an endless archive of possibilities. But here's the kicker. These other universes aren't necessarily identical to ours. Some might have slightly different rules of physics, alternate histories, or completely alien forms of life. Others could be eerily similar, with only minor tweaks, like choosing pancakes instead of waffles for breakfast this morning. The concept of the multiverse challenges everything we think we know about existence. If infinite realities exist, then every choice you make spawns a new branch of reality. Every what if becomes a what is. So how did scientists even come up with such a trippy idea? It turns out several theories in modern physics suggest the possibility of a multiverse. According to the many worlds interpretation (MWI) of quantum mechanics, every time a quantum event occurs, like an electron taking one path over another, the universe splits into multiple branches. In one branch, the electron goes left. In another, it goes right. Extrapolate that to every decision, event, or random occurrence, and you've got a near infinite number of parallel universes. The theory of cosmic inflation explains how the universe expanded rapidly after the Big Bang. Some versions of this theory propose that inflation didn't stop everywhere at once. It keeps happening in different regions, creating bubble universes. Each bubble has its own laws of physics, making them vastly different from ours. String theory suggests that the fundamental building blocks of the universe are tiny vibrating strings. These strings can vibrate in 10 or 11 dimensions, not just the 4 we experience, 3 spatial dimensions plus time. In some models, our universe exists on a brane, short for membrane, floating alongside countless others in higher dimensional space. Some theorists argue that mathematics itself is the ultimate blueprint of reality. If true, then every possible mathematical structure corresponds to a real universe. This means there's a universe out there for every conceivable set of physical laws, even ones that defy logic as we understand it. Not all multiverses are created equal. Depending on the theory, they take different forms. Imagine bubbles forming in boiling water. Each bubble represents a separate universe with its own unique properties. Some may be habitable, while others collapse or remain barren. These are the classic what-if worlds. For every decision you make, a parallel universe branches off where you made the opposite choice. Somewhere out there, you're living your wildest dreams, or your worst nightmares. Some theories suggest there could be mirror versions of our universe where time runs backward, gravity repels instead of attracts, or matter is replaced by antimatter. Talk about a flipped script. What if our reality is just a simulation created by advanced beings? If so, there could be countless simulated universes running simultaneously, each with its own code and parameters. As mentioned earlier, every possible equation could describe a universe. This includes ones where magic works, gravity doesn't exist, or stars never form. The possibilities are truly limitless. If the multiverse is real, it has profound implications, not just for science, but for how we view ourselves and our place in the cosmos. If every possible outcome happens somewhere, does free will even exist? Or are we simply experiencing one predetermined path among many? If there's a version of you committing terrible acts in another universe, does that diminish your accountability here? Conversely, if there's a version of you achieving greatness, does that inspire hope? Knowing that infinite versions of yourself exist can be both comforting and unsettling. On one hand, it means nothing is final. Every failure has a counterpart success. On the other hand, it raises questions about identity and purpose. If the multiverse exists, it opens up entirely new avenues for discovery. Could we ever detect other universes, travel between them, harness their resources? The potential is staggering. Let's get creative. If the multiverse is real, here are some fun scenarios to ponder. Imagine floating freely forever, unable to walk, sit, or even pour a glass of water. Life would look very different without this fundamental force. Maybe an asteroid missed Earth in another timeline, allowing dinosaurs to evolve into intelligent beings. Picture T-Rex philosophers debating the meaning of life. Perhaps humanity never evolved, or went extinct early on. Would another species rise to dominate the planet? Dolphins? Octopuses? Pigeons? In at least one universe, you're living your absolute best life. Career goals achieved, relationships thriving, hobbies mastered. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Of course, not everyone buys into the multiverse hype. Critics raise valid points. Unlike the Big Bang or black holes, we currently have no direct evidence of other universes. Until we find a way to test these theories, the multiverse remains speculative. By definition, other universes are inaccessible to us. If we can't observe or measure them, how can we prove or disprove their existence? Some argue that positing infinite realities undermines the uniqueness of our own. Why bother trying to understand this universe if countless others exist? Despite these challenges, proponents counter that the multiverse is a natural extension of established theories. Plus, absence of evidence isn't evidence of absence, right? Whether or not the multiverse is real, the mere possibility invites us to think bigger, dream bolder, and embrace the unknown. It reminds us that reality is far stranger and more wonderful than we often give it credit for. Next time you stare up at the stars, consider this. Maybe those twinkling lights belong to a universe unlike anything we've ever imagined. And who knows? Somewhere out there, another version of you is doing the same thing, wondering, questioning, exploring. What do you think? Does the idea of infinite realities excite you or overwhelm you? Either way, the multiverse invites us to keep asking questions, because the answers might just redefine everything we thought we knew.